Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Run and Code, humor in South Texas law enforcement. I'm your host, T-Bone. Got my partner, J-Man, by my side as always. J-Man.
What's up, buddy?
What's up?
Not much.
Been a nice long week.
Sure
Christmas
has
week.
been.
Hotter than shit down here in South Texas for some damn reason. 85 damn degrees every day and humid.
Yep.
But, now this coming week's supposed to be colder than a witch's titty in a brass bra, so can't make up its mind. I don't even know if this year we're even going to get the dreaded ice storm.
No,
We always get. I think this year is going to be tropical for some damn reason. So I guess there is an argument for global warming. And then next week it'll feel like the Ice Age. So we hope you enjoyed the last couple episodes. We've had one comment that was hilarious on our controversial policing episode, which was pigs being pigs. Thought that was hilarious.
I mean, it's a whole new generation of law enforcement, right? Like that word "pig" doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, this ain't the '60s.
Like,
they don't really care.
I think there's literally a podcast up there called Bacon Patrol, or something like that.
Basically, you just gotta own it. Like, hey, you want to call me that? Hey, call me that. Whatever.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I would say grow up, but you probably are grown. I would just say get some new material.
Yeah, get out of your mom's basement, dude. But if you want to continue listening to us, hey, appreciate the views. And you never know, maybe we'll change his mind through actual rationality and logic, but I doubt it.
No.
Well, but before we get into today's fun and games, remember, you can email us at runandcode2023@gmail.com. That's RUNNINCODE 2023@gmail.com. Or feel free to leave comments on our YouTube videos, which we'll respond to. Bear in mind, once you put those comments out there, they're public, so we will out you if it's something really stupid and funny, and everyone needs to hear it, because that's just funny. Again, nothing racist, because we don't want to hear that shit. I'll delete, because that's just dumb. That's not why we're here. We're salt and pepper. Like, clearly, we're both cops, so that shit just annoys me. But anywho, so today's episode, we're going to focus on, and this is going to sound controversial, stay with me, everybody, is why are cops bad?
Okay.
Because it goes in cycles. They hate us, they love us, they hate us, they love us, they hate us, they love us, they hate us, they love us. And it's always been that way. It just seems that the waves are higher every time. And that's honestly the social media influence. That's not the actual actions of law enforcement. That's the social media influence. When I was growing up, news was local, not national. CNN wasn't around, Fox News wasn't around. It was all national 24/7 news. And there was no social media, and there was no cell phones or cameras. There was, you had to have someone with an actual video camera who would catch you. And Rodney King was the first one. I'm not saying that was justified ass beating. I'm saying it was local. So the next town might not even hear about it. And then it became, regional. Then it became statewide. Then it became national. And then now everybody sees it. And then everyone has these. And they just throw it up on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or Twitter or whatever they throw it up on TikTok. Because of that, and because they're short clips, of course, people don't get the entire story of what led up to the incident that occurred. And then, oh my God, that was horrible. Okay, well, as we know in law enforcement, all force looks bad. There's no force that looks good, because it still looks bad no matter how gentle you're trying to be. In fact, it looks worse when you're trying to be gentle, because they're struggling more and you're having to hurt them more because you're trying not to hurt them. I know that sounds paradoxical, but that's true. It's sometimes easier, just one punch in the mouth ends it. Right then and there, it's done. You got a fat lip out of it. Ooh, big deal. He'll survive. But when you got to take 4 or 5 officers because you're trying to nicely subdue somebody, that's more of a potential for someone to actually get hurt.
Yeah.
Versus just one officer get in there, throw a few chingazos, get him in cuffs, it's done. Get him EMS, get him checked out, get him water, get him down to the jail, and call it a day.
Yep.
And this is why you see the videos where a cop's trying to arrest a woman, and oh my God, he can't even control a woman. It's because he's trying not to hurt her. We can control a woman. We can absolutely slug her like a man. But we know how that looks, and so we're trying not to. And then we're all, of course, kind of programmed. We don't hit a woman. You be gentler with women. And that's great in the regular day-to-day life where you open the door for a lady or, ma'am, can I help you with that? It looks heavy or whatever, being a gentleman. But in law enforcement, you can't really be a gentleman sometimes. But because we're programmed to be a gentleman, it kind of soaks through when you're trying to arrest a combative female and you're trying not to hurt her. Instead, one shot to the kidney and call it a day. She'll stop. And then you get her in cuffs. I mean, I know it looks bad, but what looks bad? What looks worse? The one shot that gets them subdued, or rolling around with them as they're screaming and yelling, help, rape, I'm being hurt. Just get them in cuffs and get them in the car. So that's, social media has not helped that, because you have the uninformed and the untrained making formed opinions. That's like me telling a doctor how to perform a surgery. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to, oh, you did that wrong. You did that wrong. How the hell do I know? because it may look wrong to me, but I'm not the one with that knowledge. I'm not the doctor. So I don't know what he's doing. And so I can't sit there and give my uninformed opinion and tell a doctor he's doing something wrong, or a dentist, or a carpenter, or a welder. I'm not any of those. I have to trust they know what they're doing. So while it may look bad, doesn't mean it's bad. And that's the hardest thing to get people to realize. Just because it looks bad does not mean it's bad. Hell, Derek Covens being released. Did you hear about that? He's being released. Now, all the shit's coming out now post-trial. The Minneapolis training manual that they never would allow to be shown at trial.
Must have been really bad, or just not updated.
No, they just didn't want it. Minneapolis, look, let's be real honest. That was a politically motivated trial. 100% politically motivated.
Well,
they didn't murder George Floyd. Let's be real honest. His fentanyl overdose is what killed his ass, and his and emotional distress, his emergency, what's it called? ED, excited delirium is what killed him. It wasn't Derek Chauvin. Now, could an argument be made he didn't take care of him? Yeah. As soon as he stopped moving, they should have been like, oh, something's wrong here, But did they kill him? No. His fentanyl in his body is what killed his ass. And all the stuff that did not make it to trial that's now coming out. So they've decided to go ahead and release him. Now they put him on some pretty strict conditions. Can't leave the state. He's on a GPS. No contact with the Floyd family while they figure out if they're going to retry him or whatever. Who knows? I get the feeling he ain't going to make it to trial. Some ignorant jackass is going to kill him. I mean, they already tried to in prison. So, that was a politically motivated killing. And what looks bad isn't always bad. That's why the huge majority of these officers that actually do get indicted for murder or manslaughter get acquitted in trial, because the public didn't have all the facts, but trial, with the exception of Derek Covens, apparently, all the facts come out. Here's everything you didn't know, because frankly, we don't have time. We're not going to tell the media everything anyway. They don't need to know every detail. The jurors need to know every detail. This is what happened for them to make an informed opinion. Guilty, not guilty. And of course, if they screw up, then you got your mistrials, where defense screws up or the prosecutor screws up, somebody screws up. And that they go, hey, the rights got violated in this trial. It's a mistrial. They can either elect to retry or let it go. Now, once they're acquitted, that's it. It's over. It's done. Unless you have new evidence, and you would need pretty compelling evidence to reopen that case. Mm-hmm. That's why when an officer has a shooting, you want it to go to a grand jury for a no bill. You want it to be no billed, because it's very hard to reopen it once it's been no billed without new evidence that they didn't have the first time. The question is going to be, where was that evidence at? Why didn't you have it?
Oh, yeah.
So I would rather be no bill than the DA's office make the decision, we're going to close it. No, I want it to go to a grand jury. Let's get this out of the way and done now. Because I don't want 4 years later we get a new DA or new mayor or new whatever going, I want to reopen that because that was 4 years ago, and now I want to make a political statement. Kill it now. Just take me to a grand jury. Show them everything and let them make the decision whether they want to try me or not. If you want to try me, let's go for it. Because I can do just what I did based on case law, circumstances I knew them at the time, and the totality of the circumstances. That's all you can hold me accountable for. You can't hold me accountable for knowledge I didn't have prior. You cannot hold it for me, that knowledge I found after. What did I know at the time? That's all you can hold me accountable for. Garner versus Tennessee, Graham versus Connor, all these cases all say the same thing. What did I know right then and there? Mm-hmm. Not after, I found out he was wanted for murder. I didn't know that. It's irrelevant. What happened right then and there? So saying all cops are bad is like saying all doctors are bad, all priests are bad, all lawyers are bad, all postal workers are bad. Everybody's bad. That's not true. We all know that's not true. But what gets the most attention? Cops. We're the most visible. Everybody sees us. Everybody always wants to film no matter what we're doing. You could be giving out Christmas toys to kids in the hood for community relations, and somehow you're doing something bad. You help a lady across the street, you're doing something bad. It's like, good Lord. You can't win, so you don't try. Just do your job. That's all you can do. Do your job, articulate and justify what you're doing, and you'll be okay. Good agencies will back their officers. He did nothing wrong. Our officer did nothing wrong. That was in our policy. He did under state law. Here's the whole story you did not know. Some agencies are getting smarter about getting the information out fast, and that's really kind of a disservice. But they're doing it to avoid, here come the riots and the protests. Let's get out front of it now. They're getting smarter about pulling the family of whoever the turd was that got his ass capped and going, here's what really happened. And they'll show the video and they'll show the body cameras to the family. And 9 out of 10, that's been stopping everything. The family gets the whole information except Ben Crump. That dude would probably try to put Jesus on fucking trial.
I'm pretty sure he still sees it. It's just.
Oh, he sees it, but he
Well, I mean, once you start down that road, you just gotta continue going down the road. 'Cause it was really
What is it? Got to see it through, my man. Got
you
to see it through.
can't really backtrack because then now
No,
like
then he looks stupid and he loses credibility.
yeah. So you just he started that way, even though the facts won't point that way. You gotta keep going that way.
Yeah, and
Just regardless of what it is.
that's the hardest part.
I think I seen something like that where
I'm trying to
the
remember
one
this.
officer gets I think he's off duty. He gets pistol whipped by the guy, and then the officer shoots him. I
Yes,
think that one came out a little fuzzy, a little wonky.
but then they brought the entire family in and showed them all the video,
and
and
then
that
the
stopped
lawyer,
it.
then
And
the
that's when
lawyer
the
made
mother.
the statement public, and then they kind of had to make some. They kind of had to like make some. Okay, we concede that this, and this had. The press conference was just kind of weird, but I get it. Like as a family, should you admit your relatives, your family members' wrongdoings on camera for the world to see
But they did.
lose like the sympathy? And based off of like a racial issue, whatever.
But
Who cares?
But the family did
But
on that one, and it killed it all immediately.
yeah,
Stopped all the protesting. Stopped immediately. It died.
it's just a weird thing. Why don't you just make the decision of the family? But you don't have to get on camera and say and admit anything. Just have the lawyer just say, okay, look, we're not. The body camera came out. New things were brought to light. The case, we're going to allow the case to go the way it goes. That's it.
Yes, but I do appreciate. I think it was the mother saying that it was unfortunate my son had to die, but the officer did nothing wrong. And I was like, huh, that kills everything right there. That kills the riots, that kills the protests, that kills it all right there because the family had the courage to step up and go, the officer did nothing wrong.
It's a weird
And it
thing.
sucks. It sucks to lose a family member. It sucks to have a family member shot by the cops. But maybe, just maybe, if you fight the cops, pull guns on them, maybe you kind of had it coming.
It's
So maybe you
just,
should make better choices.
it's just weird that it has to be like this. Like
Well,
we're
that's
just,
because that's how it's become.
it's just you kind of. It's just like okay, somebody did wrong, right? You did a wrong thing, and they got consequences for the wrong actions that they took,
Mhm.
and that's how it should be analyzed.
Yeah.
It just makes it tiring. Like it makes it tiring.
We have to look at things from two perspectives. What did the subject do? What did the officer do? Did the officer? Okay, in a perfect scenario, the officer has time to learn everything about what's going on before he takes action. Now let's go to the real world where things happen this fast.
Yeah.
We've had officers that walking up on a domestic, the guy opens the door and starts shooting at the officers. They didn't have time to even consider anything. They're handling it like they've handled 9,000 other domestic violences. They walk up, knock on the door. Obviously, don't stand in the doorway. Score off away from the doorway so that bullets come through because incoming fire has the right of way. Get off to the sides and then knock on the door, make contact, and make a determination from there. Does it appear they were actually fighting? Is someone injured? And then do your investigation. When you're walking around the house and rounds start coming through the door, what are you supposed to do? Now everything has changed immediately.
Yep.
So clearly there's somebody with hostile action with deadly intent. What are you supposed to do? It's easy for everyone to sit back and go, I would have done this and this. Well, one, you're not trained. Two, you're not in that situation. Three, you know more than they do because later more stuff comes out. At the time, because here's how it works for those that don't know. Dispatch will either read it over the air, or if you have a CAD, they'll read it over the air and put the notes in the CAD. This is what we know so far. That's what you're beholden to. What did dispatch make you aware of? What are the CAD notes saying? Because they assume you've read the CAD notes. They're going to assume you read the CAD notes. Sometimes you can't. Maybe you're driving code, so you don't have time to read the CAD. You really shouldn't be reading the CAD or running high-speed code. You really need to be paying attention to the road.
Yep.
But you're hoping dispatch to give you the pertinent information over the air. The victim is saying that husband pulled a gun on her and now is in the living room with a gun. Okay, that's pertinent information. We didn't know that. That I'm not just going to go barging through the door unless I start hearing shooting. Then you don't have a choice. Get your ass in there and stop it. Or now, victim is saying subject has left in a blue BMW and has left the neighborhood. Okay, now we've been told the subject is not there anymore. That does not mean he's not waiting 2 doors down for you to pull up.
Yeah.
It just means that you've been told that he's no longer on scene. So that might alter your approach tactics. Because now you still have to check on the victim first. Victim takes the priority, not getting the person into custody. We know who the person is. The wife's going to know her husband. Yeah, it was so-and-so. Here's his name and date of birth. Great, we can find him. He's going to come back here eventually, or where he works or whatever, mom's house, But the public says, oh, you should have had all this information before you ever got there. Well, that sounds great, but that's not how it works. And going off what we know at the time is what has saved our officers, because this is what we knew. And the people, well, they should have known more. Oh, they should have slowed down. Well, if it's violence in action, violence in progress, your job is to stop the violence.
Yep.
Your job is to stop the violence, stop the killing, whatever it is. Uvalde aside, they fucked that up royally. Your job is to stop the violence now. So if you got to get to that door to get to the victim, whether it's male or female, because women have killed men before, women beat men up too, just most men aren't willing to call the cops and go, my wife hit me, because it's a pride thing. Nobody wants to be that 6 foot dude going, yeah, my 5 foot wife hit me. But violence is violence, domestic violence is domestic violence. It doesn't know a gender.
Mm-hmm.
It's just more women or more men are violence or victims of domestic violence than most people are aware of. Because who the hell wants to be that guy tell his buddies, yeah, my wife hits me? Because then you feel like a coward or a bitch, and that's not true. We all know that if you're 6 foot and she's 5 foot and she's beating the shit out of you, and you haul back one time and smack her across the fucking mouth, she's gonna call the cops and go, look at my face. And they're all looking at you like, hey, dickhead, she's 5 foot, 100 pounds, you're 6 foot, 180. What the fuck, dude? Even though we know under the penal code, you had every right to do that. It's not what it is. It's how it looks. So this whole all cops are bad bullshit, it beyond ticks me off because it's not true. So ACAB, all cops are bastards. All cops are bad, or whatever the hell it is, or fuck 13 or all this other stupid bullshit. People don't like being held accountable for their actions. People get very agitated at being held accountable for what they did. And police are the ultimate holders of accountability. We caught you. You were doing wrong. We caught you. You were hurting somebody else. You're taking something that doesn't belong to you. Whatever the hell it is, you're putting someone other in danger. Like traffic stops, the prime example. Oh, that's the traffic law. That's not a real state law. It is. If you're doing 100 miles an hour and 60, the potential there you're going to kill somebody, which means now someone's dead. We got to shut down a major highway at rush hour, which is going to piss off 1 million people trying to get home. Yeah, there's consequences to doing that, which is why our job is to stop you and either figure out, A, why are you going that fast? Do you have a medical emergency? Is your wife in the front seat about to get delivered? Okay, we'll get EMS started right now, Did you just commit a crime and are running away from it? There's a million reasons people speed, but that's one that I've ran into several times. They're running away from a crime they just committed. If they'd been doing the speed limit, never would have brought attention to themselves. Instead, they do 100 miles on the highway. Oh, let's find out why this person's driving that speed. Could just be a reckless teenager letting his, feeling his oats in his car or whatever. But we don't know why. We need to ask questions why. And then it is the guy who just committed the crime, or he has warrants for his arrest, or he has illegal drugs in the car, or he's a felon in possession of a firearm, and you walk up on the car and shit turns south, and he turns to a shooting or use of force, and everybody's like, oh my God, they beat up that motorist for nothing. No, it wasn't for nothing. I'm telling you right now, it wasn't for nothing. The cop didn't walk up and just start clocking him in the face. That's not what happened. Everyone knows that's not what happened, but they conveniently forget these things that led up to the force being used.
Yep.
And want to say, yep, that was bad. That was bad use of force. Why don't you look at the whole story?
I honestly, maybe, I always wonder, like, the public's perception of what they think this job should be versus what it actually is.
Yeah. Ignorance is a lot of it.
I think, and then it's just the comparing, like, American policing to
Other
other
countries.
countries where the population has less rights and is a lot more, like, subservient to their government than America is. I say it all the time, like, America is a country founded by revolution, and it gives its citizens, I would say, more power than, well, that's what it's supposed to be on paper, more power than the government, because that's the way it's supposed to be. So you can't compare us to, like, some police officers in another country where the population isn't as, I guess, rebellious in nature, like, to authority. It's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Like, it just, so.
Well, the Constitution limits the power of the government.
Yes.
It says what the government can and cannot do.
Yes. So
state laws are what you can and cannot do. And then the case laws, not the state laws, but the case laws that came from these arrests, like Miranda and Graham and Mims and Arizona and Rodriguez, that all came from this. That's what says what we cannot do in law enforcement, or we can do in law enforcement.
Yeah.
Like a Terry search, a Terry frisk, or being able to order the driver out of the car or the passengers out of the car. Those came from Supreme Court case laws.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem now is the people, I don't like it, so therefore I think it's illegal, when it's not actually illegal. Yeah. So we've seen a million videos. It's happened to me. It's happened to you. I don't have to get out of the car. You have to tell me why you're getting me out of the car. I am traveling. I don't need a license. All that horse shit. And none of that's true. But because they don't like it and they feel it shouldn't be that way, therefore, in their mind, now we're violating their rights because we did it. Well, no, the law says different. Whether you like it or agree, doesn't matter. I know what I'm allowed to do. You don't, clearly. And I've actually had lawyers I've stopped that don't know this shit. I'm like, you're a lawyer. How the hell do you not know? You know, I've actually had fights with lawyers about the law, and these are lawyers. These are members of the bar with that gold bar card that says whatever state they're a member of the bar of, and they still want to argue with you. I'm like, okay, I'm only a dumb cop, quote unquote, for those that are only listening. You're a lawyer with a law degree, which means you did a bachelor's and then you did 3 years of law school and then you passed the state bar exam, which is not an easy test by any stretch, and you still don't know this shit? How did I know this shit? You know? But we're the idiots. You know, or there's people who, and I've had it, I'll never forget, I was on a traffic stop and the girl, I'm calling my lawyer. I hear that all the time. Well, she actually got her lawyer on the phone. And this officer ordered me out of the car, and he said, then get out of the car and do what he tells you to do. And she was just flabbergasted. I guess she thought her lawyers would be like, no, and you don't have to. An officer, get away from that car. No, the lawyer told her, you need to get out of the car. He's ordering you out of the car. Because I could hear him, and he could hear me. I was like, ma'am, I'm giving you a lawful order to step out of the vehicle. She had a warrant. And I wasn't going to tell her that while she's behind the wheel of the car. I wanted her out of the car before I told her she had a warrant. For obvious safety reasons, I don't need her driving off. And I'm not going to reach in the car and grab her. She floors it because I'm being drugged down the road. Yeah. I'm not doing that either. So the lawyer is like, you need to get out of the car. He's telling you to get out of the car. You need to get out of the car. He goes, be polite, follow instructions, and keep your mouth shut. And she's just like, oh my God, what? I said, ma'am, now you've heard it from me and you've heard it from your lawyer. Who else do you need to hear it from? Step out now. And that's the last time. Counselor, advise your client what I'm going to do if she doesn't get out of the car. And he told her, he's going to pull you out of the car physically. And that's legal. Get out of the car. And she, oh, okay, I guess I'm getting out. I'm like, cuffed her. You have a warrant for your arrest. Counselor, she's got a warrant for her arrest. You know, and she's like, you have to tell me that. And he said, no, he doesn't. You know, that's her own lawyers that they're telling her this shit. And she was just astonished at all this wrong information she had about how this shit works. And her own lawyers on the phone telling her, and she's just in shock. I'm like, yeah, we actually do know this stuff. Now, let me preface this. We don't know every single law there is.
No.
We're cops,
it's impossible.
not androids.
Oh.
Okay. This is why we can detain you on suspicion of a crime having occurred, and then we can confirm that. We can pull up the penal code, read it, and go, missing one element, that changes it from an offense to not an offense. Or it wasn't this crime, but it was this one. And that's happened before. I've dealt with it where I wasn't quite sure what the crime was, and I'll tell the story. It's adjudicated. It ended up, we didn't have a complainant, so we had to let it go. All we could do was identify him and cut him loose. But the story we got was at a local amusement park. There was an adult in line showing pornographic videos to juvenile females. Now, that is an offense.
How silly.
It's silly, but it's an offense. But I was like, wait a minute, I'm trying to remember, is that a felony or a misdemeanor? I could not remember. I'm like, I want to say it's a felony, but I can't swear on it. So we get over there. By this time, the juvenile females are gone, but the park operator, the ride operator, is like, it was him right there because she saw the whole thing too.
Yeah.
I said, all right, let me go talk to him. I get up to him, hey, sir, and he talked to you. I pulled him out of the line. I said, look, if it's not the man, I'll get you right back to the front of the line. Don't worry about it, okay? But I do need to talk to you. And he was cooperative. Oh, yes, sir. And actually being cooperative was saved his ass, honestly. Mm-hmm. So I said, look, here's what I'm being told. Now, that's why I phrase it that way. This is what I'm being told. Go. I need the full story. I can only get that from you and the complainants if I can find them. And I asked the ride operator, are the girls still here? They said, no, they're already gone. I'm like, fuck. That's my complainants, because how do I know for sure that they're minors? But the ride operator said, no, they were clearly young teenage girls. She goes, they're like 13 years old. I was like, what the fuck? I said, okay, man. I said, here's what I'm being told. At first, he tries to tell me. I said, hey, man, so what happened? Like, were you watching pornographic videos on your phone while
he's online? Like, while he's in line?
And here's what he told me. They didn't have to look at my phone. I said, sir, you're not in privacy, though. You're in public. You don't have an expectation of privacy when you're in the public.
That's crazy.
So whatever's on your phone,
they don't have to look at his phone.
Yes,
but they can hear the audio.
Yes.
Yes. What an idiot.
So I'm just like, but sir, you're in the public, which means anything you do is visible by anyone else, and they can film you, record you, or take your picture. You're in public. You're not in the privacy of your home. So I said, now let's just cut the bullshit. I said, the ride operator made it clear you were showing these girls these videos. Like you were making it known. You were holding your phone out for them to see them. Like, let's stop bullshitting me. Yes, sir, I was. Now we're getting somewhere. Would you mind, and I didn't demand it, I said, would you mind showing me these videos that you were showing them? He goes, yes, sir. And he opened his Snapchat, and it's a video. It's a pornographic video, and it's very graphic. And I said, okay, why would you show that to these girls in line? He goes, I thought it was funny.
Freaked out.
Okay.
Freakazoid.
I said, if you had a daughter and some guy, a grown man, because you're 22, is showing your juvenile female daughter pornography, would you be okay with that? Well, no, I wouldn't be okay with that. So, and I'm like, okay, what is the damn code? And I finally found it. It's a Class A misdemeanor. It's an A, to making pornography accessible to a child. That's what it is. Chapter 43, I think, of the Text Penal Code. 4324, I think, is the actual code. Either way, it was a misdemeanor. But it's still a crime. I knew it was a crime. I just didn't know exactly which one. So I still know it's a crime. I can still detain him. I can still ID him. I can still find out who he is, make sure he's not a sex offender, make sure he doesn't have any warrants. I can at least get his name, address, phone number, date of birth, so I can at least field identify him. You know, and then, okay, man, well, here's the deal. So could not find the juvenile girls. No one came forward. I don't have a complainant. So I have to release them. But at least now I've got it on file. I wrote a full report on it just in case the mom does call and say, hey, I was at your park and this guy was doing that. Now I can go talk to her and the 3 children and go, okay, what did you see? Did you actually see? Tell me what you saw. Don't ever lead the witness. Did you see a penis? Oh, yeah, I saw a penis. No. Ask them, what did you see? That open-ended stuff, you're leading the witness. That will come back to haunt you in court.
Yeah.
So to say, what did you see? You pull them, you separate them. What did you see? Oh, I saw a video of a guy masturbating. What did you see in the video? Not did you see his penis. What did you see in the video? Oh, he was jerking off, and I could see his cock or whatever. Okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you very much. Go to the next one. What did you see? I wasn't able to see the video from my angle. Okay, fair enough. Now I have actual complainants. So now I have their dates of birth. Now I can prove that they're female, they're juveniles. They're under 18. So you're not supposed to make pornography available to anyone under 18. It becomes a felony if you employ the children to sell pornography. That's when it becomes a felony in Texas. So you can't have some 6-year-olds selling nudie mags.
That's just that's
just
a stupid thing to just do.
It is
in public in general.
But
it's just like when you're in line to get on a ride.
Does that make me a bad cop because I didn't exactly know which violation of the law it was at the time? No. I know it's a violation of the law. I'm just can't remember exactly off the top of my head which one because there's thousands of them.
Now let's do the thing. What would have made you a bad cop? Approaching that situation differently because we're giving the inverse.
All right.
If all cops are bad, right?
Here's what would make me a bad cop.
Yeah.
If I take the statement of that ride worker that those were juveniles and I hook them and arrest them, I have no proof those are juveniles. I had the word of a ride operator who's 25 years old herself telling me I know for sure that those are juveniles. She doesn't know for sure. She assumes based on how they look that they're juveniles, but I have no proof of that. So I have no actual complainant and I still arrest him anyway. That's the problem. Now, once I've ID'd him, nothing says I have to arrest him right then and there. The only law in Texas that is mandatory arrest is violation of a protective order. That is the only mandatory arrest law if it happens in the presence of a peace officer or magistrate. That's the only we shall absolutely arrest you, no questions asked. Every other thing can be investigated, and you can take your time. The rush to arrest, you don't always need to arrest. Arrests are for a couple reasons. To protect the public from reoccurrence or to prevent reoccurrence. So I'll give you a great example. I'm trying to think of a great example that actually would make sense to the listening audience, not the cops that are listening, but civilians. Okay, here's a great one. You're working a part-time. You work at Walmart. That's your part-time.
Boo.
Yeah, I know. I won't work Walmarts anymore. I want nothing to do with Walmarts. But you never want it for anything to do. You always had something going on.
Yeah.
Loss prevention tells you that, hey, we got a guy stealing whatever. And he's putting it in his bag. Okay. They start watching them in the cameras. You go past the final point of sale because they have to cross the final point of sale for it to be a theft. If they stop the register, they haven't stolen it yet. Even though you know they're going to walk by because they shoved it on a bag, you still have to wait on the final point of sale. All right, get him into custody, detain him. Yep, you walk past the sale. That's him. We've been tracking him. Here's the video. We followed him to the store, open the bag. Oh, there's everything he stole. There's the phone charger. There's this, whatever, video game, whatever the hell he stole. Now, it's a nonviolent crime, so nothing is compelling me. I have to arrest him this minute. I can file that at large. I can get a hold of the patrol sergeant, or I can get a hold of CID investigators and go, hey, it's theft. It's $101. I know the theft threshold for B is 100, 750.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. It's changed. Yeah, but I forgot that. Now all theft is arrestable. And all theft has always been arrestable, but there was Class C theft, and then there was B theft, and A theft, and felony theft. But CID may be like, just cut him loose. Just, you got him ID'd, he's got no warrants, cut him loose. They'll criminally trespass him from the store and cut him loose. Because the drive is not, is that going to protect the public if we take him into custody right then and there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is the public in danger of him stealing from Walmart? So you got to look at the level of the crime. Now, violation of protective order, the other end of the scale, which is a mandatory, no questions asked, you shall arrest. Like the law is phrased very specifically for a reason. Officers shall arrest a person who violates a protective order in the presence of that peace officer or a magistrate. Shall, meaning you have no choice. You shall, period. Not may, which gives you wiggle room. Shall. There's only one crime that's a shall arrest. Even murder is not a shall arrest, believe it or not. People are like, oh my God, but it's murder. Well, we have to investigate, and we're on the clock. Once we put cuffs on somebody and they go to jail, once they're in custody, we're on the clock to get this case done. So it's easier to let them go for the time being while you investigate further to get all your evidence together. And then once you have all your evidence together and you have a prosecutable case, now you issue a warrant for murder, and now you take them into custody. And now that the clock is ticking, you have time to get it turned into the DA's office for a review and indictment. Right. That way you don't blow the time. Because here's how that works. For the public that does not realize how it works, I arrest you for murder. Your bond is $5 million. You don't have the 10% to get out of jail. So you're stuck in that jail. The law says I have a certain amount of time to get that case filed to the DA's office. If not, it hits the time frame, they have to release them on personal recognizance no matter what the crime is. Mm-hmm. They have to release them now, no bond. You're free to go. They might put you on a monitor, maybe, depending on what it was, but you won't have to pay any money because we blew the time frame. Mm-hmm. Now, if you bond out, that lengthens the time frame because you're not in custody currently. You're just under investigation. Now, once you're indicted, then they issue a new warrant for your arrest for murder. But if you've been indicted, that means the case has already been turned over to the DA's office. Your part in it is done until it actually comes to trial when you got to testify. Mm-hmm. That's how that works.
Yeah.
And that's for any offense. That's misdemeanors to felonies. Now, misdemeanors, nonviolent, they typically just give you a PR bond anyway. Just get you out of the damn jail. We're not going to take up the bed space and the Johnnies and all that shit for theft, 100, 750. Get the fuck out. I don't have time for this shit. Pre-COVID, you never got PR bonds for family violence, ever. Now you're seeing PR bonds for even family violence. And that was due to COVID. Keep the jail overcrowding down. Criminal trespass, get them out of the jail. Okay? Give them an arraignment date. See, be in court on this date and time with your lawyer. 99% of them don't show. They issue a piddly B warrant for them. Fucking asinine. But now it's a warrant. So now you're going to be taken into custody, no choice. And that's the difference between on-site and a warrant. On-site gives me time to think about it. Do I need to investigate this further? Do I have enough evidence right now? So on and so forth. Gives me that leeway. Once it's a warrant, that's it. There is no leeway. To any peace officer in the state of Texas, arrest this individual. That's it. The choice is out of your hands. You don't have the choice any longer. So, cops are not as bad as the public will want you to think. And it's honestly the loud minority. Because no matter how bad things are going in the world, and it's on the media, all cops are bad. They all do this, they all do that, they all do this, they all do that. 99% of the people I run into, I don't have that problem with. They're polite. You talk to them. You know, you get the ones that say, sir, I don't wish to speak to you. Okay. And you don't have to. There's nothing that requires you to speak to me. That's why you have the right not to speak to me. You can say, fuck off, I want to talk to you. Okay. I've had both where you walk up, hey, sir, can I talk to you? Am I detained? No. Well, then I'm walking away. Okay, sir, have a great day. And there's nothing I can do to stop. The minute I say, stop, I've just detained him.
That would make him. That would make it bad.
A bad cop. Now, Does that mean he's a horrible cop that's going to be violating people's rights around stealing money and stealing evidence? No. But it doesn't look good.
Right.
So as long as we obey our limits, it doesn't matter how it looks. Here's the facts. Because there's what it looks like, and here's the facts. They don't always gel together because you see an edited 30-second clip on TikTok or YouTube or Twitter or Instagram or whatever fucking social media platform you use. And they go, see right there. Well, here's what you didn't see 3 minutes prior and the 4 minutes after. Here's what you did not know. And then that's when you start, oh. Now, there's a certain demographic that never comes back and goes, we were wrong. Our bad. We didn't know. Sorry. You'll never hear that from a certain demographic. They will not come back and say, we had bad information and we jumped the gun and we jumped to conclusions and tried to make this officer as a devil when it turns out that our son, brother, father, uncle, whatever, actually did the wrong thing. You're never going to find that. No one is ever willing to admit that. And the media won't do it either. The media doesn't do it because they worry that if they retract what they had originally printed or put on the news, then, you lose faith in them. No, I might actually have more faith in you because you actually put in the retraction going, hey, we got it wrong. Our bad. I can respect that. I can respect anybody who goes, hey, I was wrong. I was wrong. Hey, great. I appreciate that. But too many of the times they burn an officer publicly, barbecue him because they don't have information. And in the absence of information being given by the agency, they make up their own or they go to the street for the story. Like, what was the one? It wasn't Freddie Gray. What was the one that started all the shit in Ferguson?
Oh, that was Michael Brown.
Michael Brown. He was walking away with his hands up and the officer shot him in the back. That's not even close to remotely close to what happened. Yeah. It wasn't even remotely close to what happened. You go to the autopsy and, hey, all the bullets are in the front. But they got the story from the street because Ferguson didn't get out ahead of it and go, this is what happened. Because they didn't do that, the whole world blew up. Hands up, don't shoot. Oh my God, that's not really what happened. And when the truth came out, it was kind of too late. And that movement just took hold. And that's kind of what really started all this shit. Honestly, Ferguson, I think it's like before Ferguson, after Ferguson.
I know it's a documented, like, I guess social study, I think. It's just called the Ferguson effect. It's, I guess, like some sociologists and, I don't know, other titles. I don't know the whole thing of it, but they pretty much just examined how law enforcement was, I guess, how their proactiveness declined or how they react to situations before it and after it.
Yep.
And it is an actual, you Google it, you can read all about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not just a bunch of made up stuff.
I call it before Ferguson, after Ferguson, BFAF, because prior to Ferguson, you never worried about doing the right thing and get in trouble for it. If you do the right thing, you'll be fine. You articulate what happened, you write it down, you give your statement. Well, hey, this is what happened. This is why I had to shoot him, tase him, use force, whatever the hell it is. And typically, they would still investigate that. They're still going to watch any videos, get witness statements, but they're going to take it all with a grain of salt and put it all together and figure out what really happened. Was it justified? Was it not justified? After Ferguson, yep, the public saying that's what happened. That's it. Let's go ahead and let's get him under custody. We'll arrest him for murder, and then we'll figure it out. We're going to terminate him. Fuck his life. Fuck his credit. He's going to lose his house, lose his family, and then, oh, yeah, so that's not what actually happened. Yeah, thank you for jumping to conclusions because you trusted what? The assholes in the street? That'll give you 3 different people will witness the same event and give 3 different versions of what happened. And they'll tell you 3 different things the suspect was wearing. This guy's saying he's wearing all green. That guy's wearing all black. That guy's wearing all red. Fuck it, they can't even agree on what the hell he's wearing. But you all want to believe somebody who, he was walking away with his hands up and just shot him in the back. Does that sound right to you? That just for no reason at all, he just unloaded the gun into his back? In broad daylight in public? That doesn't sound right to me. Maybe we should look into this a little further before we just start spouting this bullshit off. I blame the media for their irresponsible reporting. They so want to be first, they don't stop to see if they're right. They just want to get the story out there first, right or wrong, be damned. This is the story, and we're going with it. And that's why I liked Walter Cronkite. Walter Cronkite did not take a news story unless he had all the facts. He had investigated his ass off, talked to everybody, and got the entire story before he ever aired. That's called responsible journalism, responsible reporting, because he was aware the power the media has. He was aware that the what could be the consequences of his reporting. So he didn't want to just run around there. Here's what I was told, and that's it. Here's the story. Well, when you give a small piece of the pie, and they don't have the rest of the pie, they'll fill in that information on their own. Wrong or right, they'll fill in the information. And most of the time it's wrong. So I'm a big fan of body cameras because it's showing the public that's not what really happened. Nice try. This is what really happened. And here's the camera, which is an unedited third-party version. This is what happened. This is how your client was acting. This is your client swinging a knife at an officer. This is your client chasing an officer with a bat. And the officer finally, after 50 feet, turn around, stop, bang. That's a justified all day long. That bat's a deadly threat. You hit me in the side of the head with a bat, I'm going down. If I'm not unconscious, I'm groggy. He's got my weapon, my radio, he takes my vehicle, and he's gone. If he doesn't kill me first and then leave with my vehicle.
Yeah.
Now he's got a police car, police weapons, police radio, and police computer. You know, people don't stop to think, because I guarantee you, any citizen goes after another citizen with a bat, they're going to defend themselves. They're going to use a knife, a gun, run them over with a car, whatever they got to do. And they do that, and everybody's like, good job, you defended yourself. We do it, oh my God, how come you didn't shoot him in the leg? Well, how come you didn't ask the civilian why didn't he shoot him in the leg? We're not trained to the tier 1 level, DevGru and Delta level of shooting, where we can board an airplane at 100 miles an hour with pistols and put 2 bullets right between the eyes of the suspect on the move, which takes thousands and thousands of rounds and thousands of hours of training and repetition to be able to do that.
Yeah.
We don't have that kind of budget or time. It's just not. Those guys are trained specifically day in and day out. Thousands of hours on the range, thousands of rounds, 10,000s of rounds to do that, to put 2 holes into a target that big while moving, while they're holding hostages like this, and hit them right here in the tee box. We don't have that kind of training or time, and it's a perishable skill. It's like Delta operators and DevGru, if they don't do that for a couple months, they have to go back out to the range and get that skill back, and make sure you can take it back from here, back down to here. So, why did you shoot him in the leg? Why didn't you shoot him in the leg? He was coming after you with that knife. Well, I was scared. So are we. We're human too. I don't want to get stabbed. I don't want to get sliced. I'm scared of 2 things, not just one. You as a citizen are scared of one thing. He's going to stab me or cut me. I may die. I'm less concerned about being killed than I am about being barbecued nationally, because the public doesn't like what I did, because they think I should have shot that gun out of his hand or the knife out of his hand or shot him in the leg. You're fucking asinine. For those of us that have been in combat, and I'm a combat veteran, I can tell you I put round after round into someone and seen them still keep coming. And then we're talking with rifles and they're still coming, not pistols. This is the movies. We don't fight with pistols in combat. We fight with rifles, M4s, M16s, whatever you got, you're fighting with a rifle. And I've seen an insurgent take round after round and keep moving. And if they're armed, they're still a threat. Just because they're dying doesn't mean they can't get rounds into you before they die. So that's why we don't shoot in the leg. That is asinine. But there's a difference on a traffic stop between it's just me, that guy, and I got no cover and I got no backup. And he's coming at me and I got nowhere to go. I got nothing. Versus we have 4 or 5 officers. We got the officer with a beanbag shotgun. Maybe he could put the guy down, hit him with a beanbag shotgun in the lower gut, see if he drops whatever the hell he's holding and falls on the ground, and then we get him into custody. That's the best outcome. The very best outcome is they drop the weapon, we just handcuff him. It's over, it's done. No force is used. Hey man, you good? What's going on, man? Talk to me. I want to die. Okay, well, I'm not going to kill you for you, dude. Sorry, you're under arrest, but we're going to get you some help. That's the very best outcome. All the way to I had no choice and I had to pull the trigger. The public goes, oh my God, you're bad because you shot him because he's black, he's Asian, he's Indian, whatever the fuck it is. Now the hot button is ice right now. Oh my God, look at the force they used to arrest him. Yes, because they're taking him into custody. They can do that. You think that they're not allowed to use force like we are? Still the same Supreme Court case laws. They don't just apply to local law enforcement, they also apply to federal law enforcement as well. They have the same restrictions that we have. But if you're fighting them, and then people are surrounding them while they're trying to take this person into custody, yelling, screaming, and throwing shit, they can arrest your ass too. They don't get to be injured because you don't like what they're doing. That's not how that works. You don't get to injure me or you or any other law enforcement officer because they don't like it. That's not how that works. That's what we say. Take it to court. Your lawyer will sit down with you, and 99% of the time, the lawyer will tell the client, you were wrong. You screwed up. Not the officer. We don't want to show this to a jury. I'm going to try to get this video suppressed, but we don't want to bring this up because you actually did it wrong, not the officer. And the prosecutor's going to know that, because you don't get to use I didn't know. You don't get to say I didn't know. That's you're not allowed to use that phrase. You as a respectable being, in quotes for those again listening, A respectable citizen, how about we'll just use reasonable? A reasonable citizen should know that if you pull a knife or a gun on a cop, he's going to shoot you. That's a reasonable person to understand. Don't do that. That's why we tell you, take your hands out of your pockets. Keep your hands on the steering wheel where I can see them. As long as your hands on the steering wheel, you can't really hurt me. Now, if you won't show me one of your hands, and I'm looking at you in the eye, show me your other hand, and you won't, and I pull my gun and go, show me your other hand, and it better be empty, and you will not show me that hand, there's something going on. And in your mind, you're thinking, can I get around into this officer and get away before he gets me? He's thinking about it. That's when you back off. Don't move. Give me units. Back up now. I got one at gunpoint. We're refusing to cooperate. We all know what that means, and that's where we're coming because this is about to go bad. Now we get enough officers there, and this guy's going, I ain't going to make it. I have no way out of this. Nope. One of us is going to get you. You might get one of us. The other 5 are going to fill you full of holes. And then that's usually when they go clink and drop whatever they're holding and put their hands up. Yank them out of the car, cuff them, and there's the gun. That's why you wouldn't show me your hands. I don't know how many times I've heard a gun hit the floorboard of a car. Dunk. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't do anything wrong. You bet I reacted to how you were acting. There's something wrong. Most people are cooperative and compliant. Hey, my man, do me a favor, just keep your hands out of your pockets. You got any weapons on you? Like, you know who I am and you know I'm armed. I want to know where all the weapons are in the conversation. Okay, right now, I'm going to have the only weapon. So if I have to disarm you and you're legally carrying, that's fine. I can disarm you while we're having this conversation because it may go bad. At least I'm holding the weapon. I have the weapon. And usually what I do is I unload it and I hold onto the gun and just put the ammo back in the car. And I've got the weapon. And then when it's done, I hand the weapon back. If it turns out you have no wants, no warrants, not a felon, just traffic stop. Here's your weapon back, sir. Drive safe. Have a great day. Hey, I'll drop it in your back seat. You can get it after I leave. And I've done that before. Hey, man, I'll toss it in your trunk if you want, and I'll drive off. You know, sometimes they open the trunk, sometimes they just toss the back seat. Okay, drop it in the floorboard of the car and drive off. Now he has to reload it before he wants to do anything. If he's mad enough, it'll give him a minute to think about it. I don't hand a loaded weapon back to anybody, ever. You know, one, that's not safe, but that's just a firearms rule. The other one is I don't want him to go, you know what, fuck you, bang.
Yeah.
You know, he might go click because he thinks I handed it back to him loaded, but I always get back to him with the action open, locked back. Here you go. Here's your weapon. I'm going to drop it back here. You're free to go, sir. And I let them drive off. And then, because I go back to my Tahoe and watch to see what they're going to do, make sure they're not decided to change their mind, get out of the car, and start pointing a weapon at me. Let them drive off. Good. We're done. Have a nice day. None of that makes us bad. The public needs to understand that they have no idea how this job works. They need to do their own actual independent research and look up their own case laws, their own state laws. You look these things up, you'll see that 99.9% of the time, we are in the right. What sucks is the 0.1 that either ignorant officers that didn't actually take the time to learn their job, poorly trained, or just flat out don't care anymore. There's officers that have hit the ragged edge. They're burned out. They just don't care anymore. Whatever. Fuck it. I don't care. Of course, that's the ones the public sees. That's the one that makes the news. That they're all like that. No, they're really not. And I can't tell you a single time in the 13 years I've been a cop that I've ever heard an officer say they made anything arrest based on anything racial. Never heard it. Not once. And I've worked the ghetto, and I never once heard that. I never once heard an officer say out loud they're going to do something illegal. Not once. Those days are gone, and they need to be gone. I'm glad they're gone. But like any other job in the world, you're going to have people that do bad at it no matter what.
Yeah.
Bad postal inspector, bad doctor, bad lawyer, bad judge, bad dentist, bad UPS worker, bad Walmart employee, whatever the hell it is. There's a bad and good in every single job there is on the planet. But we have the only job where people do not expect us to be human. They want us to be robots. You don't want robots. You still want us to have our own independent thought processes. Trust me on that. But they're willing to forgive malpractice. They're willing to forgive malpractice of clergy. And for those that know what I mean, know what I'm talking about when it comes to the Catholic Church. There, people are willing to forgive that. A man of God who has sworn an oath to the Bible and God touching kids, and they're faster to forgive that than an officer getting into a fight with a gangbanger with an attitude and whipping his ass. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. We don't walk up to regular citizens and start pounding on them. I can't even tell you the last time I can actually remember an incident where a regular Joe, non-criminal, was ever just pounded. But I can tell you a million where it's a gangbanger with an attitude. He starts getting mouthy or threatening the officer, or puts his hands on the officer. And yeah, he gets his ass beat. That's kind of how it works, because it'll, two reasons. One, shows that person, don't do that again. Here's the consequences. But it shows the public, that's what happens when you put your hands on one of us. You're going to get pounded. So don't put your hands on us. Do what we tell you to do. If you're going into custody, you're under arrest. If we say the words, you're under arrest, that ship has sailed. Fighting us is not going to unarrest you. You're in custody at that point. Whether the cuffs are on or not, you're in custody once they tell you you're under arrest. Fighting me is not going to do anything to save you. You're only going to make it worse. If you do manage to get away from me, now we're going to get every officer in the area looking for you, and we're going to find you. And now the potential now for violence goes up, because you've already tried to get away once. Now you're so scared that you're going to do something even stupider to stop us from taking you into custody, and it's going to get dumber and dumber. Someone's going to end up dead. Mm-mm. You're already caught. One of the smartest criminals I ever met. And he is a smart guy. He really is. I mean, he did his time. He did 12 years in the California penitentiary before he came out here to Texas. But I looked his record up. He'd never once been arrested for anything violent. When I called CDC, California Department of Corrections, he never once attacked a correctional officer in any of the prisons he was at. He was in Pelican Bay where he finished his time in the SHU. When I talked to this guy, I said, man, you've done, you got arrested for theft. You've been arrested for possession of controlled substance, vehicle theft. He goes, I said, but not one time have you ever been arrested for anything violent? He goes, I don't use violence. That's only going to make it worse. He goes, I can get a couple years for this, or I can add 10 years for fighting with the officer. He's like, the juries don't really look kindly on that. They look kindly on the theft, like, whatever. Okay, he stole a motorcycle. Whatever. He goes, I never ever attacked a cop. He goes, why? You already got me. I'm not going to make it better if I attacking the officer, because then there's going to get 20 officers to whip my ass and get me into custody. And if I shoot the officer, every cop in the world's going to be looking for me. He goes, so just turn around, put your hands on your back, keep your fucking mouth shut. That's all you got to do. He goes, you already caught me. I'm not going to make it worse. And that's a smart criminal. Like, he's dumb to commit crimes, but he's smart enough to know fighting us is not going to help his case. It's going to make it 20 times worse, because anytime you put your hands on somebody, the potential's there for someone to get hurt or killed the minute you put your hands on somebody. That's why we try to do it as nice as we can. There's things we could do that look even worse, but they're legal, but we don't do them because of how bad they look. I can use my baton to get you out of the car. 100% legal, 100% within policy, and 100% within training, but it looks bad because it's a baton. So I tend not to use that measure, even though I know it would be quicker to get him out of the car and get him to custody faster. It's where you put the baton up the side of their neck on the muscles here, not the windpipe, not the carotid, not the windpipe. For those that are going, oh my God, that's a choke. It's not a choke. You extend your baton, you put it behind their neck right here on this muscle right here, and you pull. Let me tell you, they're coming out of the car. It hurts so much, but it does not injure you. It does not injure you.
That's just where the head goes, the body goes.
Where the head goes, the body goes. We know that as cops. Hell, anyone who's in any kind of martial arts training. Yeah, if you get them a headlock and throw, their whole body's going to follow the head.
Like if a suspect is on their stomach with their arms underneath of them, if you just cross body them and you pull with this, like your forearm, like right on the side of their head, and you just pull in the opposite direction, you're going to lift, the body's going to lift up because the head's lifting up. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter how strong they are on the bottom, and they're going to come up.
Now, it's not a choke. You're not impeding their breath or their blood.
Nope.
It's muscle torque, basically. It's pain compliance. It's called pain compliance. 100% legal. We're not injuring you. We're hurting you. Big difference. It's kind of like guys who, I had a suspect trying to get away from me. He was juvenile. I didn't know he was juvenile at the time. He looked like a grown-ass man. But I grabbed him by the hair immediately. That's going to hurt like hell. But it's not going to injure him, but it's going to hurt. And I grabbed him all the way to the back of his head, and I pulled like that. And let me tell you, he stopped backing up real quick. And then I pulled down, and he went straight to the pavement, and I cuffed him. And I just held onto his hair, and I twisted like this. Put your hands down your back, or I'm going to keep twisting. He finally put his hands around his back. I cuff one, give me your other hand. Cuff the other one, then let go of his hair. Because I now have what can hurt me, his hands. He's like, man, that fucking hurts. Yeah. Now, yeah, I know it hurts.
Now let's take that scenario. What would make you the bad cop? You've already gained your compliance, and you cuffed him.
If I'd have continued holding onto his hair and twisting
after
he's been cuffed, because now I'm not doing that for pain compliance. I'm doing that to be, what's the word?
Cruel. Unusual.
I'm doing that to be cruel. I'm not doing that for any other reason other than I'm pissed and I want to give him a little taste. No. Once you got them in custody, the force stops. That's how that works. Now, there's this misconception that we can't use force on you once you're restrained. That's not true. That's not true. There's limited circumstances where you can use force while they're cuffed. If we're trying to we got him cuffed, but he kicks my partner in the balls, yeah, we can still use force to get them under control. Once you had them under complete control, though, the force stops. That's the difference. But yes, just because you're handcuffed does not mean you can't kick my partner's kneecap out or kick me in the balls. Yeah, that's a no-go. We're not going to let you keep doing that just because you're in handcuffs. Now, we're not going to take the handcuffs off so now we can fight with you again. We're going to control your legs too now. And if I got to use a 4-point restraint, I'm going to use a 4-point restraint. And I don't know how many times I've had to hog tie people and drive them down to the jail in a hog tie because they're kicking the doors and they're kicking the windows. It's like, oh my God, really, dude? Like, you're already caught. You're not making this better. And then you got to get down to the jail. I need the CERT team out here. CERT team comes out, get him inside. They take him out, put him in the chair, and wheel his ass in. And all that's on camera. And all that's the jury's going to see. You're already caught. So the other one is the little video that shows us yanking somebody out of a car. And they're fighting with him, getting him out of the car, and the person's screaming, "No, but I didn't do nothing. Why are you doing this?" And when you watch the whole video, they told him 20 times why they're doing it, and they told him 50 times to get out of the car. But they leave all that part off to go, look, he just reacted, ran up, yanked the door open, just pulled her out of the car. That poor woman threw her down on the ground and handcuffed her. No, you're missing something. You're missing the rest of that video where he told her 20 times get out of the car and why he wants her out of the car. Why are you arresting me? I've told you. Why are you arresting me? I've already told you. Why are you arresting me? I've told you like 10 times. I'm not telling you again. You heard me. I think in their mind, what they're hoping is that we'll say something different. And that's not what you told me before. I told you what it was. That's it. End of story. Problem solved. You're coming out of the car or I'm going to get you out of the car. Which one would you like? You tell me. You're in charge right now of your own destiny. Which way do you want to do it? Violently? Right to break windows, cut seatbelts, pull you out of the car, put my hands on you? Or just step out of the damn car? Because you're still coming out of the car one way or another. But you can get out under your own power. I could put handcuffs on you, detain you, figure out what's what, figure out what's going on. Just because the cuffs are on doesn't mean they can't come off. I don't know how many people I've uncuffed. Hey, man, as soon as he said you got a warrant, and that's after I get out of the car, cuff him, let me figure out what's going on. Let me see if it's even extraditable. I'm going to detain you, pat you down for a weapon. You got any weapons on you? All right, give me a second. Put him in the car, call dispatch, find out if this dude is extraditable on this out-of-county warrant. They don't want him. Okay, show me release someone mail. Pull him out. All right, sir. That county doesn't want you. They're not willing to extradite, so I would just stay out of that county if I were you. Free to go. Drive safe, sir. If you fight me, you still have an active warrant. I can still legally detain you while I figure out if that warrant is extraditable or not. So if you fight me, turns out they don't want you, I still have you for resisting arrest because I had every legal right to detain you. So when you do that stupid shit, instead of just being calm and waiting to see what happens, hey, they don't want you. Free to go, sir. Drive safe. Have a nice day. Stay out of that county because they want you. They're just not going to spend the money to get you from another county. Drive safe. That's the end of it. And I've had that happen a million times. Yeah, they don't want you, man. Your lucky day. Drive safe. No fight, no fuss, no muss, no charges. Drive safe. Because if that county doesn't want them, it doesn't matter. What I feel about the crime they're accused of, it doesn't matter. They don't want them. It's not my county's warrant. So, okay. It ain't personal. Have a nice day. Clearly, it ain't that serious, or they would have asked, we will like to extradite from anywhere. So I've had the opposite, though, where, hey, man, look, you got a warrant, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not getting out of the car. Yeah, you're going to get out of the car. Come on, get out of the car. No, I'm not getting out of the car. And the fight's on. And then you give me to custody, and then they don't confirm the warrant. Well, you're still under arrest for obstruction, minimum, or resisting. And if I got hurt, assaulting an officer. Like, dude. And then I've had them tell me, well, you can't do that because they don't want me. That's not how that works. Because I had every legal right to detain you.
Yep.
And you chose to fight that, which is a crime by itself. So it doesn't matter what this crime was now. This is what matters now. Now you're in trouble for this. So you've added more charges. Now you're going to have a warrant from this county, you ding-dong. Use your brain. So that's the kind of shit that people don't understand how this works. And they just don't like it, or they heard something from a friend, or they saw something online. That's the God's honest. That's the truth. That's how it works.
Oh, yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times I've had to, because of the era we're in, take a little bit of a softer approach than I would have taken 10 years ago and go, look, sir, I'm going to explain this one time on camera. Are you listening? This is what the law says. I'm giving you every opportunity to comply with me before I have to put my hands on you. Do you understand me? Yeah, but I think it's bullshit. You have now acknowledged you understand me. Get out of the car. And then I get out of the car. Okay, well, we tried nice. Now we're going to do it my way. Get him out of the car, cuff him, and then they're screaming, I don't know why you're getting me out of the car. Ah! Yes, you do, because I explained to you, and then you said, yes, you understood it. You just said, yes, but. Well, you said yes, and that's all I needed to hear. And if they said, I don't, okay, what don't you understand? I will solve the mystery of life for you. What do you not understand? Well, I don't get why I have to be ordered out of the car. I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, sir. I'm telling you to get out of the car, and you have to. I'll tell you when you're out of the car back here. I want you away from the car. Come back here and talk to me. Doesn't mean I'm going to put you in handcuffs. I might not, but I'm going to get you away from the steering wheel, and I'm going to get you out of the car, and I'm going to walk you to the back. And if you got more people in the car, I'm going to stand you with you between you, or I'm going to keep you between me and the people in the car. So if they start shooting at me, I'm going to hit their buddy first. That's called being smart. I'm going to use him as a bullet shield while I get out of the way. You know? And that may be cruel, but oh fucking well. My job's not to be a bullet sponge. That ain't my job. So just because I wear a vest doesn't mean I want to test it. Find out if it was a substandard manufacturer and I take a bullet through the plates. So why are all cops bad? We're not. It's a perception issue. It's a perception issue fueled by the media, social media, the witness in the street who didn't see what they saw or lied flat out about what they saw to get attention and get their 15 minutes of fame on the TV, but they're really not. And you can be mad all day long that we arrest you. Well, stop doing the shit that gets you arrested. Okay? Here's the thing. If you call 911, J-Man, you call 911. I was assaulted by this guy. He's Hispanic, about 5'10". He's wearing a black shirt, blue jeans, white tennis shoes. He's got a red bandana hanging out of his back pocket. That's a pretty thorough description.
Yeah.
A quarter mile away, there's a guy matching the description walking down the street.
Yeah.
And the bolo's already been put out to all the units in there. Hey, be on the lookout. We're looking for a Hispanic male. You know, black shirt, blue jeans, bandana, white shoes, close haircut, last seen eastbound. And then they see you eastbound from that area. Now, does that mean that that's the guy? Doesn't mean that's the guy. But what should I probably do?
Check out with him.
Check out with him. Hey, I'm out with somebody matching that description. Here's where I'm at. Hey, man, come here. Let me talk to you for a second. Oh, man, no, it's not consensual. You are detained. Come here. Come here now. I ain't coming there. The more you resist, the more that makes me think, you might be the guy we're looking for. And you know exactly why I want to talk to you. Instead of coming up to me, hey, what's up, sir? Were you just over there? No, sir, I was at the gas station. Like, how long ago? Like, I just left the gas station. Well, here's what's going on. We got a report of XYZ, and you match the description. So I got to talk to you, man. What's your name? I can legally detain you because you match the description. Doesn't mean you've done it, but I'm going to get your side of it. And if I can prove right then and there that it wasn't you, okay, hey, man. Hey, look, I appreciate it. We just caught the actual guy down the street over there. You're good to go, man. Have a good day. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
But if you match the description, you start running from me immediately or you start fighting me, yeah, I'm confirming my suspicions of criminal activity right here, not dispelling them. I'm confirming them now because an innocent person typically will talk to you. Now, you're going to have the innocent people that are mouthy just by nature. Fuck you. I don't want to talk to you. You're a pig, blah, 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 blah. That doesn't mean they're guilty. They're just an asshole. Fine. You have the right to be an asshole. Not against the law. If that was against the law, I'd be in fucking life without parole in TDCJ. So it's not against the law to be an asshole. But I have a duty to detain and question you if you match the description of a suspect who just committed a crime, and then figure out if it's you or not you. And if it's not you, have a great day, sir. Now, what really does suck is when you get out with them, it turns out it wasn't them, but they got a warrant. Hey, man, I'm sorry. It ain't your day. You know, you're innocent of this crime, but you do got a warrant, so we got to go to the jail, man. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong time, wrong place, brother. Get in the car. You know, it's happened to me several times. It's happened to you. But if you cooperate 99 out of 100, it works out in your favor. It just works out in your favor because we're not trying to do more work. So if it ain't you, we're not going to go digging deeper. I'm looking for the guy who assaulted. I'm looking for the actual suspect in the assault, not someone else right now. I'm looking for that. If you wave the bull in front of the red flag in front of the bull, well, then you kind of have that one coming. So not all cops are bad. And I'm tired of hearing that fucking phrase because you don't hear about it in any other profession other than this one. We have the only profession where you're identified by your job. There's two professions identified by job. Cops and doctors. His so and so is a doctor. His so and so is a cop. I've had to tell every girlfriend I've ever had, don't tell people I'm a cop. Shut the fuck up and stop telling people that. They don't need to know that information unless I deem it necessary. Other than that, stop telling people that. They don't need to know it. Off duty, I'm just a person. But as soon as you identify as a cop, you fall into a different category of a person for everybody around you. Immediately different. Everyone's attitude shifts. You'll see people walk away. Like, oh, I'm going to stand over here. That's usually a clue you're maybe in the wrong crowd. Maybe you shouldn't be there. But doctors, no one hates a doctor. No one hates a fireman. No one hates a paramedic. No one hates a nurse. They just hate cops because cops are the physical manifestation of accountability. You fucked up, we're taking you to jail. And everybody's afraid that they say something to us that we're going to arrest them right then and there. In a social setting, unless you admit to a homicide, I really don't give a fuck. I really don't care. I really, in fact, I'm probably not even listening to you, honestly. I really don't care. I'm going to stand in the corner of my beer and just try to avoid everybody. Unless another cop shows up and then we're going to talk cop shop. That's just cops.
Right.
We tend to gravitate towards each other because we understand each other. You can't talk like that's like Republican and liberal. One's so far right, one's so far left. They're not really going to sit there and talk to each other. And they're going to scream at each other probably, but they're not going to have an actual productive, rational, grounded conversation. Two cops can stand there from two different agencies and have a productive conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We're a very unique breed. But this whole all cops are bad bullshit is really kind of just starting to get on my last fucking nerve. Just all the way. So that's what I want to talk about today because I think the pigs being pigs comment was like, you know what? Maybe we need to address that. Fine, we'll address that. You want to call me a pig? Call me whatever the hell you want. Call me an asshole? Thrive on that. Call me a prick? You must have met me before. I don't care what you call me. All I care about is if I'm investigating a crime, I tell you to talk to me or stop. And if it's a legal detainment and a legal conversation, just do what I'm asking you to do. And 9 out of 10 is going to work. And if we decide you're going to jail, you fighting us is not going to reverse Uno that. You're going to jail. Now do you want to go to jail with more charges? That's right. There is no reverse Uno in this game. Okay. So if the public just actually try to understand why we do what we do and how we do what we do, which is why we do this podcast, for those that don't know, that's why we do it. We want to peel back the layers because it's the unknown that gives everyone anxiety. It's the unknown of how we work that freaks everybody out because they don't actually know. And then they saw this video on YouTube. Oh my God, they beat that poor one up for nothing. Well, it wasn't for nothing. I'm telling you right now, it wasn't for nothing. Maybe in 1955 Alabama it was for nothing. This is 1955 Alabama. This is 2025 modern policing. We all have cameras. Okay. We probably give you far more leeway than we should because it's the modern era. And everyone's standing there with cameras. People want us to tell people 20 times to do something before we actually make them do it. I'm still old school enough to where I ask you, tell you, then make you. I'm not going to negotiate with you and give you time to think about fucking with me. I'm going to get you in custody under control fast. Because that's what it is. It's all about the 2 C's, custody and control. Mm-hmm. Then figure out what the hell we got. If it ain't you, have a great day, sir. I've had the domestic violence, going back to that, where the wife calls 911 and says, husband hit me. We get there, detain the husband. And then turns out she's actually the aggressor. Cuff her. Unhook him. Hey, sorry, sir. And that's what we were told initially. We have to detain until we figure out what the hell's going on. And turns out it wasn't you. You're not under suspicion of a crime right at this time, sir. You're free to go. You're the victim. Here's all the paperwork for it, blah, 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 blah. She's going to jail. Because that's what we're told. That's the information I have at the time. What did I say earlier? Totality. Mm-hmm. That's the information I have at the time. Yep. My husband beat the crap out of me. And if he's being loud and big and aggressive when we get there, yeah, we're going to cuff him. Because the cuffs can always come off. But I don't want to try to fight to get him on after the decision's been made if he's still being aggressive. Let's do it now. Well, I got 3 or 4 officers here with me. I only need 1 officer to release somebody. Mm-hmm. I might need 4 to get him into custody. Yeah. So let's be smart and let's make a smart choice. So
that's true.
It's all about going home at the end of your shift regardless. You might be a little battered, a little bruised, but you're going to go home at the end of your shift. You might have to swallow some Tylenol, but you're going to go home. So that's how I look at life as a cop. What we do isn't always pleasant. What we do isn't always fun. What we do is necessary. And it can be heartbreaking. It can wreak havoc on our emotions and the shit we have to see. But at the end of the day, we are responding to the choices you made as a human. Not what we did. What did you do? That got us there to talk to you. Because contrary to popular, we don't just drive around fucking with innocent, peaceable people to screw with them for fun. We had a reason we stopped you. You may not know what it is, but we know what it is, and we're going to tell you what it is when we are at an advantageous enough point to tell you why. Traffic stop for speeding is just say, sir, I'm Officer So-and-so, I stopped you for speeding, got driver's license, proof of registration, da-da-da. Now, if you're the car fleeing the scene of a crime and you match the car, I pull you over, you might get a different response. I might walk up with my gun down on my side. Sir, I need you to step out of the car now, come back here and talk to me. I don't have to sit there and give you a 10-minute long story about why it's you. I'm telling you to get out of the car, come back here and talk to me. And then you get out of the car, come back here and talk to me. Hey, where were we just at? I got my kids in the car. I just left the daycare. You weren't over there? No, sir. I was over there by the daycare. I just picked up my kids. And you look in the car and there's 2 kids. And then, hey, call there. Did you have kids with them? No, I didn't see any kids in the car. All right, sir. You got your ID real quick because I got to document who I talked to. All right, sir. You're free to go. Have a nice day. That simple. But the more aggressive you are, the more I think, yeah, you might be the guilty one here. It might really be you. Because a normal, innocent person, everybody it's the reactions to being accused of something. For those that are genuinely innocent, they're puzzled. They're like, what are you talking about? Sir, I have no idea what you're talking about. Guilty? I'm trying to get home, sir. I love that phrase. I'm trying to get home, sir. Yeah. Where are you coming from now, though, on your way to home? There are certain phrases that we listen for. There's certain body language that we look for to determine whether someone is innocent or guilty, and deceptive behaviors. And there's that could be a whole 3-hour episode on deceptive behaviors. Christ, there's so damn many. Problem is, when you learn this stuff, don't use it on your spouse. They get pissed because they'll tell you, I'm not one of your suspects. You're not a cop. You're at home. Listen to what they tell you and don't act like a cop at home with your family. Don't bring this shit home. Am I right?
No, you're right.
Yeah. We don't bring this crap home. Don't treat your family like subjects. You're going to get a negative response from that. I know I sure as hell would. And I had to learn that. I had to learn how to separate that life as a police officer from my home life. Not treat my kids like suspects. Not talk to my wife like she's done something wrong and then try to use all those skills. You're lying to me and here's why. And da-da-da-da-da-da. Don't do that because you're just driving that wedge in your family. Take the shit off when you get home. It's hard. That's a hard thing to do. That really is a hard thing to do. It's probably one of the hardest things to do is separate yourself from that. There are certain behaviors we carry through life. I don't ever sit my back to a door. Ever. I'm not going to. And I'll probably do that until I'm 100. I just won't do it. But when you get off duty, you're off duty. Enjoy your time with your family. Leave work at work. It's going to be there when you come back to work. Turds are turds 24/7, 365. They'll be there Monday morning when you get back to work. Let it be. So that's today's episode. J-Man, can you think of anything else we should add here that may be pertinent to the ignorant and uninformed that listen to us? And ignorant, by the way, is not a jibe. Ignorance means lack of knowledge. That's all it means.
No, can't think of nothing.
Well, for those of us in our Running Code family, thank you for joining us on another episode today. We'll get it uploaded, get it all to you. Hopefully you enjoy it. Leave some comments. Topics you want to hear, email us at runningcode2023@gmail.com. We'll answer you, or we'll answer you on the actual podcast, or we may even send you a return email. If you don't want your name, tell us, hey, please don't release my name or anything. That's fine. Won't do it. If you say something stupid or asinine, but it's funny, we're going to read it out because that's just funny. Don't say something you don't want to get made fun of. If you put it on, if you put a comment on YouTube, that's public right there, and you just made it public.
Yeah.
Email's different. If you want us to respect privacy on certain things, you tell us that, and we'll respect that privacy. For everybody else, please pass this out to people. Tell people about our podcast. Let them listen. Could give them good knowledge. Could be the difference between somebody, fixing their ignorance. May decide they want to be a cop. May decide they find another job because of what they heard here, and that's fine too. This job ain't for everybody, and we tell people that this job ain't for everybody. It really isn't, and I'm sorry, but it's not. There's other great jobs out there that could be just as helpful. You could be a fireman, a paramedic, a doctor, a nurse. Hey, great, go do that. All those jobs need to be filled by good, capable, confident people.
Yeah.
This job requires a little more than that, though. I don't expect a doctor to be a brawler, but I do expect a cop to be a brawler if he needs to be. Okay, I expect the doctor to be soft and compassionate and caring. Cops should be that too, but we need to know when to have that edge as well. When you got to put the hands on, you put the hands on. But if you're talking to a lost child, you're not going to bark at him. You get down on your knee to his or her level and talk to them. Find where mom and dad are. If you find a kid wandering down the street, probably shouldn't let that go. You should probably stop and see what's going on and look for the house with the door open. And then make sure that someone's not dead inside that house, because that has happened before. Figure out what's going on. Be proactive. Do your job. Investigate. Ask questions. Ask questions. God, I hate having to say that. I shouldn't have to say that, but I have to force rookie officers. Ask questions. Ask more questions. Before you call me as an investigator, did you ask this? No. Did you ask that? No. Did you ask that? No. Do all that and call me back. And they call you back. Oh yeah, it wasn't XYZ. It wasn't XYZ. No kidding. It wasn't XYZ. You don't say. I could have told you that just based on my years and years and years of experience of doing this damn job. So
we should make an episode like how to frustrate your investigators. You know what? I think that'd be a fun episode.
You know what? I think we could.
Frustrate your investigators.
Yeah. See. Yeah. And I could speak
because you're an investigator, and I can think of a bunch of ways to frustrate.
Oh, I could talk for an hour. I could talk for an hour.
I can think of 1,000 ways to frustrate you.
Yes, there are a plethora of ways to frustrate me.
Hey,
but I'll give those viewers then a quick hint. I'll give them a preview of that episode.
I know there's some investigators that are listening.
Here's how you can piss me off as an investigator. By not doing your job and being lazy. That pisses me off. By not being thorough in your initial investigation, because you as a patrolman are doing the initial investigation. Just because you don't wear stripes doesn't mean you're not an investigator. You're investigating the initial complaint, and then you're passing it up to me because I might be felonious. Great. What do you know? Oh, I haven't talked to so-and-so. Is he there? Yeah. I haven't talked to him. I haven't talked to him yet. Maybe you should talk to everybody first before you talk to me. Get the whole story before I drive my ass across the county to come talk to you, and then get there and find out that's not what happened. And I have files on my desk this high that I got to get done. Yeah, you know what? That might not be a bad idea. So, brothers, sisters, please be safe out there. It's a dangerous fucking world. We live it every day. For those in the public that just don't understand it, how dangerous this job is and how you are literally in danger every day. And one bad decision, one bad call could take your life from you and take you away from your family. So please be careful. Think safety first at all times before anything else. Officer safety, please. Think officer safety. I've gone to too many cop funerals and I don't want to go to any more. Pass. They're heartbreaking. Especially when it's your family, and then there's their family, that mom, dad, whoever it is, not coming home. That's a horrid thing. Be safe, please. Approach every suspect like they want to kill you. Approach every traffic stop like they're going to shoot you as you walk up to the car. Be polite. Have a plan to kill everybody in the room. That's simple. You don't have to kill them? Great. Perfect. Good day. But be ready because you need to be a step ahead of them because you're already going to be a step behind when the shit goes off. That's just that simple. We don't have time. We don't have time to act sometimes. Sometimes we can only react and hope we made the right damn choice. So, from J-Man and I here at Running Code, we wish everybody have a fantastic week. Hope it was a good Christmas. Coming up on the New Year's, please be safe. Officers, do not throw away your career on a DWI. Do not throw away your career on a DWI. Get a ride. Sleep where you fall. Get an Uber. Plan ahead. Take an Uber there to where you have no car to drive home. That way you have, other than hangover, you're fine. Instead of waking up at the jail with a hangover and your career is over. Or you're being told you killed somebody. Then you get to meet me. And whether you're a cop or not, cuts no ice with me. You do it, it is what it is. You're no longer a cop. Sorry, dude. You made the choice. So please, everybody, have a plan. Be safe. Be careful. Traffic officers, get those drunks off the road. Patrolmen, don't ignore a drunk because you don't want to do a DWI. You catch them. You pull it over. Well, you caught the fish. You got to clean it now. It's your fish to clean. Don't pawn that shit off. Do your job. Do your job. So, J-Man, you got anything to add?
Nope.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode, and we'll see y'all next week, and we're out of here.
Yep.